number A, that is proficiency in English. So, purpose of learning language, focus on the different language skills. So these are some things we will be studying today, and most importantly we will be dealing with today oral language development. What is that? Oral language development. So here in this unit, oral language development, we have two units, all right? I mean two sub units. So the first one we have is listening with comprehension, and under this we have simple instructions, classroom discussions, poetry recitations, newspaper reading, stories, films, note taking. So these are the things we will deal with in listening with comprehension. And then another part is speaking effectively. In speaking effectively, we have speak fluently with confident, expressing, summarizing, analyzing, critiquing, and opinion building. So whatever I said just now, you will find them in your syllabus. All right. So today we will be dealing with proficiency in English, oral language development. Right. So let's get started now. So, all right, let me zoom it a little bit. Yes. Proficiency in English. Proficiency in English refers to a high level of competence in the English language. It means that an individual can read, write, speak, and understand English with ease and fluency. Proficiency may be assessed through standardized tests like the TOEFL or IELTS, or it can be demonstrated through one's ability to effectively communicate in various real-life situations. Different levels of proficiency include basic, intermediate, advanced, and fluent, with fluency being the highest level where a person can use English as a native speaker would. Now, what do you understand by this? So, whenever we are talking about proficiency in English, it means that we have a very, very strong command over English language. All right. And it means that we can speak, we can read, and we can write and understand English language. So, here, we develop the fluency in speaking English. Now, proficiency, how will you test? Like if I am proficient in English, or if I'm proficient in Garo, or I'm proficient in Khasi, how will you check that? So in order to check that, especially I'm talking about here is English, all right? Because we are dealing with English, right? So how will we know that somebody is proficient in English? So we will know that he or she is proficient in English by conducting standardized test. Now, two tests are given here, TOEFL. What is the full form now? So the full form of TOEFL is Test of English as a Foreign Language. You can write down Test of English as a Foreign Language. TOEFL means Test of English as a Foreign Language. Now what about IELTS? It means that International English Language Testing System. International English Language Testing System, right? So these two full forms you should know. Now, what are these two? These two are the test, right? So suppose if I want to test your English, how well you are, how fluent you are in speaking English, reading English, writing English, then I will give you this TOEFL test or IELTS test, and according to the score or according to whatever the criteria is, I will get to know that, oh yes, this is your level, this is your fluency in English, right? Or we can know that somebody is fluent in English by observing them, how they speak, right? How am I speaking now? I am speaking to you, right? So how do you feel? My English is, average or good or very good or excellent or fluent. So however you rate my English speaking, that is something we can get to know, like, yes, this person's English speaking skill is this much or that much, right? So different levels of proficiency include, all right, so suppose, see, now everybody can never know all the languages, right? I may be good, suppose when we are going for different type of exams, then there are options, right? That different languages, what other languages then you will see English, Hindi, Garo, Khasi. So from there, again the options are given, like, you know English to read, write, or everything. And then again in Garo option will be there, you know to speak in Garo, write in Garo, or both reading and writing. Again in Khasi also there will be option, Khasi to speak only, or to write only, or to read and write both. So these are the options we get. And accordingly, we know like what language we know, or the interviewer knows what language you know or you don't know, right? Then here, we can categorize people into different groups. Like, suppose I know Khasi only the basic, right? Only the basic, what I need to speak in market, only that Khasi I can speak, or that Banar I can speak. But if you ask me about Garo, then Garo, I am expert. I am fluent in speaking Garo. If you ask me about Hindi, I am expert. I am fluent in speaking Hindi. If you ask me English, I am expert. I am fluent in speaking English. If you ask me Bengali or Assamese, then that one you can say like I am intermediate, all right? I'm not so expert, like I am average, all right, average. So I understand, and but then I may or may not be able to speak that well as I should be, right? So that is how we rate the level of fluency we have, right? So with fluency being the highest level where a person can use English as a native speaker would. Now you see, especially in Khasi Hills, we see that the people, they speak a very, very fluent English, right? They are excellent in English communication. But it does not deny the fact that even the people of Garo Hills region, we can also speak in English fluently, right? And also the people of Giantia Hills, they also speak fluent English. So if I sum up, overall in Meghalaya, personally I'm speaking, overall in Meghalaya, I think we are the ones who speak very, very fluent English. In fact, if I talk about the Northeast, I think Meghalaya is the one where we speak English as fluently as we are speaking our own mother tongue or home language, right? You are, not you, we are so fluent in speaking English that we feel like it's our own mother language or home language, right? Yes or no? So I believe that you all will agree with me. Now, why are we able to speak English so well? We are able to speak English so well because we are studying in English medium schools, right? So, our teachers, they speak in English. We are encouraged to speak in English. We are asked to speak in English. So, that's why, we are fluent in English. Now let us talk about the purpose of learning language. Now, a question will come into your mind, why should I learn language? Right? Why? What is the need of learning a language? So let us see. The purpose of learning a language can vary depending on an individual's goal and circumstances, but some common purpose includes, so there can be different reasons why you want to learn a language. Suppose you want to learn Spanish. Why are you learning? Maybe you are interested in Spanish language. Suppose I want to learn Nepali. So why I want to learn Nepali? Maybe I want to work or I want to study in Nepal, so that's why I want to study, I want to learn the Nepali language, right? So any reason can be there. So but still some of the common reasons we can see are as follows. So let us see. Communication. The primary purpose of learning a language is to be able to effectively communicate with people who speak that language. This can be for personal, social, or business reasons. Now you see, communication. So of course, suppose, right, I suppose I'll say Like, all right, so we speak Hindi in India, right? And if I happen to go to Nepal, then I should speak in Nepali, right? Why? There can be different reasons. The most important reasons is communication. Because when I go to Nepal, I have to communicate in Nepali. Then the people will understand, the people will appreciate, yes, this guy speaks our language, so it's easy for them, right? There is no misunderstanding, no miscommunication, right? So that's how, that is the reason why we should learn different languages and we should speak. So also there can be personal reasons. One of the personal reason I can give is that, these days what we see is, I am a Garo, but I am in love with what girl should I say? What SMS girl, right? I am a Garo and I am in love with SMS girl. So the language I will personally would like to know is SMS. Like I would feel like, oh, I should know this SMS language so that I can communicate with my girlfriend very well. And the girl will also think, all right, so this guy is Garo. So I think I should also learn his language so that we can communicate in a better way, right? So this is one of the personal reason you can give. And social reasons can be whenever you go for marketing in Shillong. So of course, all the people of Shillong, they know English, but still, if you want to speak in Khasi, then you should learn the Khasi language. And when you speak in Khasi, going to Shillong, then it becomes a really, really easy work to go to the market, to negotiate, to bargain, to reduce the price, to buy the things, right? Then also business reasons can be there. So some people, they are, when we do business, people of different language speaking areas come together and we all, talk together, right? We all do interviews, meetings together, right? So in that case, it becomes easy if we know different languages. However, the language which we use in Meghalaya is English, right? The medium is English. But still, if we need to speak in Hindi, then of course it is always better if we know Hindi. Now, cultural understanding. So, learning a language often comes with an understanding of the culture associated with it. It allows you to better connect with people from different backgrounds and gain insights into their way of life. Now, you see, if you want to know somebody's culture, you all traditions, then it's always better if you understand their language, right? Now, the people from outside, they are coming and visiting Meghalaya, they are visiting Garo Hills, they are visiting Khasi Hills, right? So it will be very beneficial for them if they know the Khasi language or the Garo language, right? So that they will be able to understand what are the history of Meghalaya, who are the freedom fighters of Meghalaya, then what are the languages we speak in Meghalaya, what are the dances we have, what are the festivals we have, what are the different type of, you know, uh, the attires we have, the dress we have, the language we have, right? So all these they will be able to connect, easily when they know our language. Travel. Knowing the local language of a place you are visiting can greatly enhance your travel experience by enabling you to interact with locals, understand signs and directions, and navigate more easily. So this is what I just told you, that suppose I'm visiting Nepal, so if I know the Nepali language, then it will be very easy for me to talk to the taxi drivers, auto drivers, rickshaw drivers, bus drivers, right? The hotel management, then the restaurant, then I will be able to understand what is written on the signboard, what is written in the menu. So it will be easy for me to, roam around in Nepal, right? So it is always good to know many languages. Now, career opportunities. Many jobs and industries require knowledge of specific languages. Learning a new language can open career opportunities and enhance your resume. Now, what happens is that suppose I get my first job and I am transferred to Maharashtra, Mumbai. Then, if I know Marathi language, then it is very easy for me to survive there, right? Very easy. I can communicate in that language. But if I don't know Marathi and all the people coming to my office they speak in Marathi, then it will be a real problem for me, right? Because nobody there going to speak in English. So they will speak in their own language, right? So it also, makes the work easy if we know different type of languages. Academic and research purposes. Language proficiency is often crucial for academic studies and research, especially if you are studying literature, history, or conducting field work in a foreign country. Now you see academics and research purposes. Now we all, have friends, or we ourselves, we do research, right? Sometimes if we are doing PhD, then we have to do research, and if we are doing masters which has got dissertation, then we have to do research. So suppose if you happen to visit a country and do a research there, right? Do a research in that country. Suppose you are visiting China and you want to research how COVID-19 started and all, then it will be better if you know Chinese. But if you do not know Chinese, it becomes a difficult task for you to perform there, right? Cognitive benefits. Learning a new language can have cognitive benefits such as improved problem solving, multitasking abilities, and enhanced memory. Now, see, when you have, learned different languages or new languages, then, it gives a benefit to your brain, because you are able to understand the language, comprehend the language, make use of the language, speak the language, write the language, right? So it helps you to do multitasking, right? And also improves your memory, right? Now let us see personal growth. Learning a language can be fulfilling personal challenge. It can boost self-confidence and provide a sense of accomplishment. Now you see, even for your personal growth, suppose I know Khasi, I know Garo, I know Panar. So I have no problem. I can go to every corner of Meghalaya because I know the language. So I can communicate with the local people, right? With the rural people, the village people, I can talk to them because I know Panar, I know Khasi, I know Garo, right? Now, global citizenship. In our interconnected world, being multilingual can contribute to a sense of global citizenship, allowing you to engage in international issues and connect with a broader range of people. Now you see, we stay in a world where Japanese people, they speak Japanese, Chinese people, they speak Chinese, then Indian people, we speak Hindi, then the people of America, they speak English, the people of you know England, they speak in English. So different languages all around the world, right? So now here, if you know English, if you know Chinese, if you know Japanese, then it becomes very easy for you to travel around the world and connect with the people, right? Ultimately, the purpose of learning a language is deeply personal and can be shaped by our interest, goals, and context in which you find yourself. Now, ultimately, the thing is that learning a language is your personal choice. If you are interested in Spanish, you will learn Spanish. If you are interested in Chinese, you will learn Chinese. If you are interested in Khasi, you will learn Khasi. If you are interested in Assamese, you will learn Assamese, right? So it's, after all, it's your personal choice. There are many people who know different type of languages, right? But there are few who knows only one language or only two language, right? So this is how language plays a game in our lives, right? Rang anga chanchen asimang ma chitokinga mai ko thalatinga degi mansing language kura maina jakhalana degi mang yano nibo yano a thalata habamo daugata language kura chung maina rang jakhalana communication na jakhala golpon rang jakhala bamo degi mang culture traditions rang ko machina kata jakhala degi mang bano ba chung songre ode songre na rang jakhala bamo degi mang de kham rang na job rang na galmatungo ba anchung language ko chakhala degi mun baksana chung research rang khagen chmunga ode PhD rang dakken chmunga ode warang oba chakhala bamo degi mun language chakhala ni chi mai wana chung ni thanung blongin blakata mo chung ni thanung ko blongin blakata language aro memory rang ko blakata aro degi man chung anthani life ni anthani jangi thanga niyo nekne kani rang ko ba solve khana gata mana mo degi man chung ni personal growth na ba language te dak chaka degi man global citizenship ba mayana दाउगता chung agal sakko America dongamo American language tengthang degi mang Japanese khusik tengthang degi mang Chinese khusik tengthang bamo degi mang Indian khusik tengthang degi man chung ya gamak mandirang baksa bakrana gata ya language na ko ma chingen chmunga ode anchungnan namba tabamo yan yan muksungani wa language ni dene tigi ma chung daw niang skana mai donga hai. So now focus different language learning. Focusing on different language learning can refer to various approaches, strategies, or priorities when learning multiple languages simultaneously. Here are some key points to consider. Now, focusing on different different language learning. Now, see, we can learn different languages. I can learn Spanish, I can learn French, I can learn Chinese, I can learn Assamese at the same time, right? So now what we have to do in order to learn different languages? So the first thing we should do is set clear goals. So you should have a clear aim, objective, and goal why you want to learn a language. Define your specific objective for each language you are learning. Are you learning for travel? Since you want to travel to, you want to travel to China, you are learning Chinese, or it's business related, or it's work related, or you are just personally interested in learning Chinese. That's why you're learning. So what is the reason? You should know that before learning a language. Knowing your goals will help you allocate your focus effectively. So when you know your goal, that yes, I am going to China and I have to work there, I have to stay there, so I have no choice, I have to learn the language, right? So you have to learn the language. Now prioritize languages. Prioritize means what? Priority you should give. Priority means what? Suppose, easy example I will give you. Some people, our priority is what? Our priority is ourselves. If I am selfish, my priority is myself. But there are some people whose priorities are the family members, which means, suppose if I have a girlfriend, right? If I have a girlfriend and my girlfriend says that you are not giving me enough time, you are always busy with your family, you are always busy with your job. So what I can say? I can say that, see, my first priority is my family, my second priority is my job, and you are my third priority. So according to my priorities, I have, grouped my activities. So first thing is I will take care of my family. If I have time, I will do my job. And if I have time, I will take care of my girlfriend. So this is how we set priority, right? So, but this is just an example. Now, all right, so priority I have not explained, right? Determine which language is more important or urgent for your needs. Allocate more time and efforts to language that aligns with your immediate goals. Suppose you want to go to China, right? You want to go to China and work there, and you also have a research program in UK. So what will you do? You see which one is your priority. Learning Chinese is your priority, main focus, or going to UK and doing research is main focus. So according to your priority, you decide which language you will learn first, English or Chinese, right? Create a schedule. Develop a study schedule that allows you to dedicate time to each language. Consistency is the key to success. Of course, you know that, right? Consistency is key. You might focus on one language more intensively for a certain period, then switch to another. So you schedule your time. Time management is important when you are learning a language wholeheartedly, right? So you decide which time you will learn, how will you learn, whether you learn French first and Chinese last, or Chinese first and French later on. So how are you going to do that? And always remember, whenever you are learning a language, consistency is important. My dear friends, like, even without a book, if you have no book, suppose you want to learn Khasi and you have no book of Khasi, no problem, you can still learn the language, right? How? By listening to the people, by understanding the language, and by trying to communicate. Even if you speak broken Khasi, does not matter. Even if you speak broken Garo, does not matter. Instead, it sounds cute, right? If we speak broken English, broken Khasi, broken Hindi, then for me, according to me, it sounds cute, right? So it's fine. But slowly, slowly, that is how you develop your language learning skills, right? Now, we will see use of different resources. Explore various learning resources for each language, such as textbooks, apps, language classes, and language exchange partners. Tailor your resources to the specific needs of each language. Now, How will you learn language? What are the resources? What are the materials? From where will you learn the language? So you can make use of textbooks, you can make use of apps. These days we have different type of applications where you learn language, right? English speaking, Hindi speaking. Then language classes, you can join Khasi classes, you can join Garo classes, you can join English classes and learn the language, and also exchange partners. Means what I said just now, that in your family, suppose somebody knows Khasi and and all other members of your family do not know Khasi, then you can learn from him or her, right? So, or if you have, suppose if I speak Garo in my house and I have a Khasi friend, then I can learn from my friend, right? I can learn Khasi from him. And if he wants to learn Khasi in return, if he wants to learn Garo in return, then he can learn Garo from me, right? Yes or no? Yes? Immerse yourself. Immerse means what? Whatever you are doing, pay your 100% concentration, focus on that. If possible, immerse yourself in the culture associated with each language. Suppose if you're learning Japanese, then you immerse yourself or involve yourself so much in that language or that culture that the learning of the language becomes a cakewalk for you. Watch movies. So it is always best way, if you want to learn a language, watch the movie of that language. If you want to learn Bengali, watch Bengali movies, then you will learn the language. Right now, read the Bengali books and listen to the music in the languages you are learning. Of course, these days people, what do they do? BTS, right? All the time BTS. So when they are listening to them, they are developing the interest of learning the language, right? Then if you are listening a Garo song, even though you don't understand the meaning of the song, you still enjoy the composition, the lyrics, the music, right? And that enjoyment you have, you know, makes you interested in learning the particular language, right? Practice regularly. So whatever language you are learning or you want to learn, you try to practice them every day. Read that, write that, speak that, listen to that, right? Avoid confusion. So if you are learning a language, then there might be some grammatical error you might face, right? So avoid those error. Pronunciation should be correct, then the structure of the sentence should be correct, and how to speak, how to say, those things you should develop. Right? Feedback. Seek feedback. Means suppose if I'm learning Khasi and I don't know if I speak this word it is good or bad, then I should ask my friends, I heard this word, so what does it mean? Or when can I speak this word? To whom can I speak this word, right? Stay motivated. So maintain your enthusiasm for each language by connecting with culture, setting milestones, and celebrating small achievements. Now, we know that whatever we do, we have to be motivated. Now you are preparing for your MTED exam, so you have to be motivated, right? If you are not enthusiastic, if you are not interested, nobody can make you interested, right? If you are not ready, if you are not preparing, if you are not working every day in preparing for your MTED exam, then when you go to an MTED exam hall, you will be blank, you will be wondering, you will be looking out here and there, and once you come out, when the result is announced, you go depressed, nothing left, right? So that's why you have to be motivated, interested, and enthusiastic all the time. Be realistic. Recognize that progress in multiple languages may be slower than when learning just one. Be patient and adjust your approaches as needed. Now, suppose you want to learn French and at the same time you also want to learn Chinese and Japanese. Now, you have to focus on one language. All right, first let me learn Japanese language. And after I learn Japanese, I will try to learn Chinese. So that way you try to go one on one, right? Now, ultimately, focusing on different language learning requires a balance between setting clear priorities, effective time management, and adapting your approaches to suit the unique demands of each language you are studying. Now, when you are focusing on different language learning, it requires to maintain a balance. You have to maintain a balance, right? You should know how much time should I give for learning Chinese? How much time should I give for learning English? How much time should I give in learning Garo? So you should be able to manage your time and adapt your approaches, right? Now, here comes the main heading, oral language development. What do you understand by oral? Oral means something related to the speech, something related to the mouth, something related to the sound, right? So, oral language development. So, how do we develop our oral language speaking skills? Let us see. Oral language development refers to the process by which individuals acquire and improve their ability to use spoken languages for communication. So, oral language development means it is a process. Oral language development is a process by which we learn and acquire and improve our abilities of speaking that particular language. Right? This development starts in early childhood and continues throughout one's life. See, we in every sphere of our life can learn languages, and we start learning languages from childhood itself, right? You will see your babies, you will see your brothers and sisters babies, your younger brothers and sisters, how they are learning languages, right? That they start learning languages from the very very young age. And how do they learn, that also we will see in the later part, right? This development starts in early childhood and continues throughout one's life. It encompasses various aspects of language, including vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and pragmatic, the social use of language. So, when we are learning language, it involves the different aspects of language learning, that is vocabulary, how you pronounce, what is the meaning of the word, then what is the grammatical way you speak or understand or write that language, and what are the practical use of that language you are learning. So here are some examples of oral language development. So what are the examples? Let us see. Vocabulary acquisition. So children begin by learning individual word and their meanings. So when we were in nursery class, our teacher says what? A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog, right? Why? They are just trying to teach us one letter, one word, right? Because at that time our brain is not so much developed that I will understand that apple is red in color. I will not understand that, right? Dog is the most faithful animal. If they speak in nursery like this, I will not understand anything, right? So that's why there is always a process, a way by which we learn. So children begin by learning individual words and their meanings. As they grow, they expand their vocabulary by acquiring more words. For example, a toddler might first learn simple words like mommy and daddy and then progress to more complex terms like butterfly or television. So, small kids at home, first they learn to say mummy, papa. These are the things they learn, right? I, baba, like that they learn, right? At the first. Then slowly they know how to say, Daddy, where are you going? Mummy, where are you? Butterfly, oh, you bought watermelon for me today. Oh, I love this chocolate. Oh, I want to watch a cartoon in the television, fridge, refrigerator, guitar, bus, truck, bike, scooty. These are the things which the child will learn as he or she grows, right? So the first thing the child says is babbling. Babbling, ba 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 ba. This is what the child speaks at first, right? Then slowly, mum, 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 mum. Then they come to say mum, mum. So what is this mum, mum? They want to eat something, right? Mum, mum means you have to give something to eat to the child. Then slowly they start calling mama, mama, like that, and then they start calling daddy, daddy. But in our case, they start calling what? I, like that they call, and then they say abi, dada, and baba, baba, like that they say, right? In our case, it's like that. So now let us see the next now. Phonological development. See, I told you in my previous videos also, phone. Whenever you hear the word phone, always understand that that sentence or that word is going to talk about sound, right? Sound. SOUND, sound. Phonological development means something related to sound. Let us see what it is. This involves the development of speech sounds. For instance, a baby may initially babble and make simple sounds like, see, this is what I just explained to you. Like the baby can first start saying like that, right? Or da. And over time, they refine their pronunciation and produce more complex sounds. So the child want to say baba, but he or she is not able to say. So they will say what? They will say like that. They will speak. But once they are able to speak, they will say baba, and da like that. They will speak. But once they are able, they will speak it as dada, right? Grammatical development. As children grow, they learn the rules of grammar and how to structure sentences. They start with basic sentence structures and gradually learn to form more complex sentences. For example, a young child might say, I play ball, and later on to say, I am playing with my favorite ball. So, grammar. See, when we are learning a language, we don't pay much importance to grammar, right? If I want something in Garo, then I will say chionat. If I want to drink water, I will say chionat. But I am not saying anga chirnas kiachum, anga chionat boda. This is the correct way of asking, right? Ba anga charnas kiachum chadonga. Chadonga. We will just say what? Chadonga. Is tea available? Tea available, like this we speak, right, in shortcut. But to be more precise, to be more formal, we say in a grammatical correct way. Like suppose if you ask me, sir, are you free to talk right now? You will say, sir, na jokang odiang nang buksa dao tisa adengat namat gen ma ba tisa golpat namat gen ma. This is how you ask, but in an informal way, what will you say? Sir, are you free? Or sir, can I call you? Sir, I want to call. Like that you speak, right? So this is what it says, that as we are growing older and older, we learn how to speak the language grammatically correctly, right? Pragmatic skill. Now, what is the meaning of this pragmatic? Pragmatic means something which we apply practically, practical application. So pragmatic means practical skill, pragmatic skill, right? Practical. We are not talking about the theory, we are talking about the on ground reality, we are talking about the practical use. So let us see. This aspect involves learning how to use language in social context. Children learn when it is appropriate to speak, how to take turns in a conversation, and how to adjust their languages for different situations. For instance, a child learns to use polite languages when talking to adults and casual language with friends. Of course, now suppose the child has learned the language, all right? He or she has acquired the language skills. Now they know how to speak, but they have to know how do we converse or how do we talk with group of friends. Suppose we are three friends, all right? Who? Ashok is there, Rishabh is there, and who wants to be here? So Rahul is here, right? So Ashok, Rahul, and Rishabh. Three people are there. So now we are talking about, suppose, some assignment or some test which is going to come tomorrow. So I will say the topic for tomorrow is very easy for me. I understand that. And I will go on speaking blah 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 blah. But this is not the way. I should also wait and listen to what Rishabh has to say. Rishabh might say, the topic is easy, but I do not have the notes. And Rahul might say, for me, I neither have the notes nor the topic is easy for me, right? So when we are sitting with friends, when we are talking with friends, We should know when to stop and when to talk, when to pause, what is the tone of the voice I should be using in order to communicate with my friends, right? Do I sound rude? Do I sound, you know, uh, wild, or do I sound very, very, what to say, someone who, is talking in a tone which is not accepted? Am I doing that? So these are the things you should take care when you are talking with anybody. Now example is given here. Suppose if we are talking to elders, if I am talking to my parents, if I am talking to my teachers, I will try to be as polite as possible. Suppose I want to ask my teacher, like, sir, I did not come to class today, so what test have you given for tomorrow? So it should be very, very polite way. I should call, sir, I'm so sorry that I could not attend my class today. But sir, if you don't mind, can you please let me know, like, what are the topics you will be taking for the class test tomorrow? This is the way I should ask, right? We should know how to be formal, how to be disciplined, how to be polite when we are making use of language. So there are some people, even though they are, talking something good, but still the tone of voice is very, very rough. So you try to adjust it accordingly. Now, narrative development. This involves the ability to tell stories and express ideas coherently. As children develop their oral language skills, they become better at constructing narratives and explaining events. For example, a young child may describe an event in simple terms, while an older child can provide a more detailed and organized narrative. So now, narration means what? Narration means story or something which we are narrating. Suppose when a child goes to school and he or she come back to home, then the mother asks, so what did you learn today? So the child, if the child is grown up enough, if the child is of class 5, class 6, they will say, all right, today we have learned about photosynthesis, how the plants make their food, or the teacher was absent today, or anything, whatever the experience they had, he or she will be able to tell in a very, very proper manner. But if you are asking a nursery child, what did you learn today? Then he or she may not be able to speak the way a class 5 child will say. So he or she might say, today we learn about apple, or apple, just one word, apple, right? So as the children they grow up more and more, they acquire more and more language skills and narrative skills, right? Narration means telling a story to somebody. We all like to listen to grandma stories, right? Or read grandma stories, and even our parents, our grandmother, they tell us the stories, yes or no? They tell us the stories while sleeping, right? Idiomatic expressions. See, my favorite is idioms and phrases. In English too, when you were in your schools, you have a small book where idioms and phrases are written, right? So that I enjoy personally very much. So here let us see what is this idiomatic expression. Over time, individuals learn idiomatic expressions and figures of speech which are not really always transparent from the literal meanings of words. For example, understanding phrases like it's raining cats and dogs or break a leg is part of oral language development. Now you see, we, sometimes speak phrases, quotations, or idioms and phrases. So, suppose if I say, passing this MTET exam is a cakewalk. What is this? Passing this MTET exam is a cakewalk. So, what is this? Cakewalk means what? Cakewalk means it is going to be very, very easy. So, instead of using the word easy, I am saying cakewalk. Or here, example is given, it's raining cats and dogs. Now, what do you understand by raining cats and dogs? Cats and dogs. Why am I saying cats and dogs? So, it's raining cats and dogs means it is raining terribly. It is raining heavily, very, very heavily. It is not stopping, non-stop raining. So, this is how we call it's raining cats and dogs. Or break a leg. Break a leg means what? Break a leg means not to go and break somebody's leg. It's like all the best. So if I want to say all the best in idiomatic way, I will say, hey, when suppose my friend is going to perform on stage, he or she is going to sing, I will say, hey, don't forget to break a leg. That means, hey, all the best. Don't forget to give your best, like that, all right? Or suppose I say, no man is an island. So, is any meant island? Or is there any direct connection, literal meaning? No, there is no literal meaning. It means that no man is alone. You see, islands are alone, right? So that's why we compare with people that no man is an island means nobody can stay alone. No people can stay alone. We are social beings, so we live in a society, right? Now, accents and dialects. Depending on the linguistic environment, individuals may develop accents or dialects unique to their region or community. This is also a part of oral language development. See, now you will see many people, they know Garo, but they don't know how to use the correct accent, how to pronounce the word correctly, right? If I know Khasi, but I don't know how to pronounce it or how to make, you know, accent which is the exact accent I should be speaking when I am speaking in Khasi, then, the other people, other person might not understand. And if we talk about Garo language, right? In Garo language, we have got rakka, right? That dot like thing, which makes the meaning different. If we put that rakka in the wrong place, mo, tao din simang masyaba mo, ang niya skar pingrang, tao din sungde Garo language te belongen mai ba ngaya mo, o siya deng thang ya, mai ni asal deng thang ana, rakka ni asal deng thang apa mo. Taude ansung rakka ko bano ba sutot na naw chunde badia ba sutot skaude orthwan change wa ba mo orthwan ding tha ba mo omok ja dawita gepen khatharang donga chim a gis kra jenga taude na chim na kana ta diba bano a garo subject ko skyo nga skyat kena sona ne unhon chung thalbatte masibat nambatte masibat na ta man gen mo so garo language ko jenselon chung aga ninga unde orthwan ding tha ya khatha wa rakka ko na 옮기자가 비아포 수토도데 카타 안 등탕해 보모 임락가 거디 숨삭기 안증 작할라 나가 보모. So likewise, if you are not able to use the correct accent, then it is difficult. Now let us talk about oral language development is a continuous process that evolves over time, influenced by exposure to language, interaction with others, and cognitive growth. It is a fundamental aspect of human communication and forms the basis for written language skills as well. So, oral language development, you don't learn a language at once. It takes time, right? It will take time. You will learn the grammar, you will learn how to speak in a correct accent, correct dialect, you learn how to pronounce the word correctly, and all these you learn by communicating, by making use of study materials, by making use of resources, textbooks, apps, then, this one, what do we call it these days? Podcast, then talking to the people. So these are the means and ways by which you learn language. Yes, I think this is all in this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first MTech channel. Thank you.